Good morning, everyone. Again, this is Alicia back with you, and along with my partner in crime, pun intended, Kathy Crum. And everyone should be here today for Mystery Readers Advisory. So we're just kind of introducing ourselves here and putting what our most read, what genre we read the most in the poll. And if my words could um, not come out of my mouth all confused. I'm blaming it on I'm just now having my first cup of coffee in the morning. I'm about an hour and a half late on that, so I'm blaming it on that instead of me just messing stuff up. So thank you all for being here with us today. We're gonna go ahead and get started right away, but first we're going to um, look at the results of our poll. So if you haven't and you want to already, um, go ahead and do your vote before I broadcast the results. Go ahead, I'll give you 5 seconds to go ahead and do that. Okay, so it said it broadcast them, but I'm not seeing that it did.
I
So
have to end the poll first.
okay. Ah, man, once thing's it's so particular. So as you can tell, I haven't quite got the poll thing
Oh well.
down pat yet. So um, see, we'll show as percentage. So, but anyways, from what I can tell, looks like we got quite a few romance readers in here. Got some historical fiction, some Christian fiction. Got somebody that favorite genre is mystery. So, um, so not a bad spread of things. Um, so thank y'all for doing that. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Bonnie. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the heart of our presentation, and everyone is your screen's gonna change here. I'll let y'all know that real quick. I'm gonna have another screen change at the end before we exit out of here today. So just want to let y'all know your screen's gonna be flipping a little bit. So there's my fighting cats as my back screen there. So, all right. Now, so here we are. We're going to be talking about Who Done It, Everything Mystery for Readers Advisory today. Again, my name is Alicia McGrath. I'm a CE consultant here at the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives, and also a mystery reader. And I have with me today, who's my chat and technical person, Kathy Crum, who is also a mystery reader. Of course, we also read other stuff as well. But this is what we're going to focus on today. So please feel free to chat, use the chat all you want to. Any questions, any comments? Um, Love it when you all throw authors' titles out there that you all have had experience with that you all would recommend or maybe even not recommend, different things like that. So please feel free to chat away all you want to. We love to hear from you all and get that interactivity going. And I don't know if that's a real word, but I'm going to make it a word today. So, all right, and here we go into the world of mystery. So, just a little introduction to mystery is a couple definitions I got to throw at you there. And the first one there, the key there is that there's the main part of the story is someone is asked to solve a puzzle. There's something to be figured out. Um, so then, of course, there's usually a crime. Most of the time, it's murder. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but and then someone's going to, of course, try to solve whatever crime it is. Mysteries are closely connected to suspense and thrillers, and I always tell this story. Um, Many years ago, Kathy and I were tasked with putting genre stickers on the large print books that we have, the rotating large print books that we have. So we had a good time doing that. And this wasn't the only genre we did this in, but I remember mystery and suspense. It was kind of, there were some things we had to figure out. Yes. Is it a mystery or is it suspense? Because some of them, they have elements of everything in it. So I think On some things we agreed to disagree, but we got through it, and put genre stickers on anything. But like I said, there is a close line sometimes between mysteries and suspense thrillers. But like I said, with mysteries, the main thing is to remember that there's something that the character is trying to solve. So just want to throw up some awards there for you in case you're looking at a list of best of for any people. The Edgar Awards is a big one. There's the Mystery Writers of America's got some titles on there. Um, and I have to say, I have to confess with this one, when I was looking up the Agatha Award and this Malice Domestic came up, I was like, okay, that's got to be like a spam site. I'm like, I don't want to click on this because it's going to like send me to something like really like inappropriate and I'm going to get in trouble with the Commonwealth ID's department. But I got brave enough and clicked on it. And all it is it's like it's a conference for mystery fans, and they're the ones that do the Agatha Award, of course, for Agatha Christie. So it is safe. It is okay. It is an actual organization, um, you know, that deals with mysteries. So you're good to go. And then wanted to throw this one in there, and this, of course, might be something that comes into play when you're doing readers advisory with your mystery patrons is the daggers, and they are British mysteries. That might even be something, like you said, when you're getting into the reader's advisory / reference interview with your patron. That might be something that you want to ask them is, would they prefer, British mysteries or, American mysteries? Because some of them can have a very different feel to them. So I throw those out there as well. So there's a little bit of introduction. All right, now we're going to talk about some mystery basics, some things to know about mysteries, particularly if you're not usually a mystery reader. And kind of like why people enjoy reading mysteries. And I think this very first statement's very accurate. Um, Usually, your patron, your reader, whatever, likes to, challenge themselves. They like to see if they can, figure out who did it before the detective. See if you can solve the crime before the detective figures out who it is. And some people just like that surprise of a twist ending. And I know even some suspense thrillers I've read that have had a twist ending. But usually, like I said, mysteries also have that as well. There's usually a clear structure to the novel. You have the crime that happens usually, of course, towards the beginning of the book, and then you have the investigation, and then you have the resolution. Um, Now there is one, and again, this is I got lots of Kathy stories. I shouldn't tell all these, but we've worked together for so long, and I can't remember. Maybe she'll remember the title, but I remember her. She usually does some of the cozy mysteries. But there was one she was reading, and I think she was halfway through the book, and the crime had not occurred yet, and she was like, I can't believe I'm reading this mystery. I'm halfway through the book, and there's been no crime yet. She's like,
It was one of the Cat Who books.
okay,
Lillian Braun Jackson.
okay.
That was what it was.
So for the most part, usually the crime happens, fairly early in the book, except for the case of the one Kathy was reading where the crime hadn't even begun or occurred yet, and she was halfway through. And Kathy's not one to get too her feathers ruffled too much, but I can remember her being just not happy about that book when the crime hadn't even happened yet. So, like I said, that's usually very clear structure. And like I said, that could be something that some of your patrons might get a little upset about, if their mystery is not following that clear structure. Usually there is a strong story. It's very usually sometimes a powerful story. Um, of course, it's always usually a good versus bad, of course, with justice triumphing in the end. Um, and mysteries usually also have a strong character appeal. And one of these things, and it ties down to that last bullet point, is mysteries there's made up of lots and lots of series. So usually with these series, of course, you have the same character in each one. So this character has to really be appealing to the person to make them want to keep reading that series. Mysteries are also called the modern version of the morality play. So again, that's where that good versus evil and good triumphing comes in. Um, and of course, you often learn something, even though it is fiction. A lot of these authors, of course, will research things. So sometimes I'm bad about that too. I'm like telling somebody something, and I have to think, did I actually read that somewhere in like a factual article or book, or did I read that in a fiction book? But like I said, you do usually learn something. So, and here we talked about a little bit, of course, again, mystery versus suspense. Sometimes it is extremely hard to tell, but when you're talking to your patron, you kind of want to have this in the back of your mind so that that you're giving them a true mystery and not a suspense thriller. Sometimes they like either one, but you never know. So supposedly the easiest way to distinguish mystery from suspense is again the timeline of the book. The mystery the focus is on solving the crime. Again, it has that set structure. Um, Usually with the suspense, they're trying to prevent something from happening in the first place. With that, and then again with the mystery, you have it can be a detective, it could be just you know Susie from next door, trying to trying to solve whatever crime has occurred. Um, and that, of course, that person doesn't know until they've gone through and solved the mystery. Usually in suspense, your main character already know who they're up against, and it's you know more how that person's going to take that person down or try to not be the next victim or something like that. So you really got to see look at the focus where the focus is, and that can help distinguish between mystery and suspense. And the quick and easy way to remember is mystery is the after, everything that happens after the crime, and usually suspense is everything before that leads up to maybe a big suspenseful ending. So hopefully that helps somewhat. Um, okay, a little bit of a history of mystery. The founding father of the mystery genre is considered to be, of course, none other than Edgar Allan Poe. And of course, he had his own detective. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because my French is a little rusty this morning. But his detective Dupin. First one would be 1841 with Murders in the Rue Morgue. So everybody knows that's. Oh, I shouldn't give away the ending. Never mind. But that's the first one there. Um, of course, a little bit more, somewhat more modern times, and who's given the credit for popularizing the mystery genre is, of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's and his character Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes first appeared in A Study in Scarlet, which was in 1887, in case you're ever on Jeopardy and asked a trivia question about this. So, the golden age of the mystery genre is considered to be the 1920s and 1940s. Of course, this is where who they consider the grand dame of the mystery writers, Agatha Christie, comes into play. Dorothy Sayers, Marsh, and then there's the British or the English, and then the American authors would be Rex Stout and Ellery Queen. In the 1930s, part of the golden age, of course, you've got Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett that did Pulp magazine ones, and they're considered the fathers of the hard-boiled mystery. That's more your PI, different things like that. Um, and so they were a little bit more on the rougher edge of things. And then in the 40s, you have, and we're going to go through all these kind of what they consider subgenres of mystery here in a little bit. You have the police procedural, and there's some authors there, Ed McBain probably being one of the more lasting of those authors there in the 1940s. So, in the 1970s and through the 90s, you're going to have a change with the mystery genre. You're going to have more regional mysteries with the more focus on the setting where it takes place. Um, In the 70s and the 80s, you have starting to see more of your private eye novels and also more women writing. And kind of a combination of women writing and private eye novels is, of course, our beloved Sue Grafton, Marcia Mueller, and Sarah Paretsky. Um, you're also going to have more focus on social issues, career specialized characters, and coming back to kind of sort of the Agatha Christie, the cozy mysteries become a little bit more popular again. And then they consider the 1990s as a new golden age of mysteries. You got some new, well, they're at the time they were new. Nevada Barr, Dana Stabenow, Patricia Cornwell, Jan Burke, etc. So currently, which I kind of looked, things haven't, um, from what I can tell, things haven't changed a whole lot with the mystery genre. One of the last points here, genre blending. It's still popular. It's not as popular as probably it was a few years ago with the Suki Stackhouse, um, supernatural mystery combos. But it's still kind of, all these are still kind of happening today. Um, so in 2004, thrillers, they said, became a separate genre. I lump them in with suspense. Thrillers and suspense, I lump them together, but that's me. Um, but supposedly in Great Britain, thrillers and mystery are still lumped together and called crime fiction. Of course, we have even more cozy mysteries. I've lost track a long, 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 long time ago about all the different cozy mysteries that have come into play. But of course, a lot of them incorporate pets, hobbies, different things like that. Um, of course, you're having a few more mysteries set in foreign countries, and this could even be modern day or back into like historical. So there you go with a little bit of blending there, with historical mysteries. So, all right. And genre blending is basically just taking a little bit of mystery, taking a little bit of supernatural. We even have some mystery and western combos. Yeah. So, Longmire kind of series kind of helped bring that in the forefront as well. So, all right. Now we're going to get into some subgenres. Like I said, y'all chat in anything. If y'all want to ask any questions, you know, some of your favorite authors from back in the day that I think need to be mentioned. So, all right. So the first one we're going to talk about, which is not really sort of a subgenre, is just your traditional mystery. Cozies can sometimes be a subset of this. Sometimes I parse them out as their own separate subgenre, but that's me, and I'm by no means the expert on mystery subgenres. So, all right. And usually your traditional mysteries possibly have a dark, disturbing theme, of course, with along with violence. And like I said, usually the biggest crime in your mystery novels is going to be a murder of some sort. So there are some examples there. Like you say, you see the Walt Longmire series is put under, in some sources, put under traditional. I would also kind of consider it a genre blend as well. So if y'all have any other, there's lots of other traditionals. This is just some examples that were listed. But if y'all have any other traditional mysteries that y'all have heard of or read, that authors that you want to mention, don't feel free to chat those in. So, all right, next one is your cozies, and these are usually more your gentle reads. They're lighthearted. They're not super dark, anything like that. Usually got a little bit of humor to them. They're considered the comfort reads of the mystery genre. And in these, like I said, usually there's not a whole lot of violence. Usually the crime takes place off stage. You really don't get into, you know, the nitty gritty of the crime in the actual, book itself, or if it does, it's maybe mentioned so you have an idea of what the crime is, but it's not, described in detail. And usually with a cozy, you have an amateur sleuth. It's, like I said, not their main job. And also, this is where a lot of the what they call hobby mysteries fall, like your quilting or your knitting or scrapbooking mysteries are usually those are cozies as well. So there's some examples there that like I say, if you have anybody, you can start them off with on those if they're looking for a cozy. And like I said, cozies have really exploded, probably about in the last probably maybe 10 years. So there are tons and tons of titles out there that you all can find for someone. I have a friend that likes to read the pet cozies, and in particular, if she can find one with basset hounds in it, which it might be a limited, you know, limited number of titles that have cozy mysteries with basset hounds in them, but you never know. So, but so next is historical, and again, a little bit of can be also be considered a little bit of a genre blend, of course. Here, usually it's historical setting, um, and usually and possibly the detective can also be a historical figure or yeah, Sherlock Holmes. And if they're not, I'm thinking of one book which I don't even know. I guess it was kind of mystery, it was big. I remember I reading The Alienist by Caleb Carr, and I remember that the main character was not a historical figure, but he worked on like the New York police force, and oh, Teddy Roosevelt was like a character in the book, not a big one, just maybe was mentioned once or twice, but so yeah. Um, but usually to be considered historical, and this is usually across the board when you're discussing historical fiction of any kind, usually has to be about 50 years in the past to be considered historical. So, but again, there's a list there of some historical mystery writers. The last one there by I've heard of Carrie Greenwood, but I hadn't heard of this particular series. But that was a new one I ran across. I was trying to do a little bit updated research, so I added that one on there. And the author of this particular article had considered her Friend Fisher series, excuse me, cozies with an edge. So I thought that was an interesting description. All right. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat there. Forgot to get my cough drop, so I think I'm gonna go do that right now. Next, we're gonna talk about procedurals. I love changing weather. It really get me. So, police mystery procedurals are public detective. And Kat said this is her favorite.
Well, some of my
some of her favorite. These are usually going to be your main characters, a police person or another professional aligned with the police. Now, this is not the same as a private eye. Private investigators are a different subgenre. But usually with these, it's the appeal for procedural mysteries is the character realism and setting. And I know I've read the Anna Pigeon series there by Nevada Barr, and that is those things are extremely apt. She's a park ranger. So, like I said, she's a considered like a law enforcement. That's the term I was looking for. They had law enforcement, but not necessarily like as we traditionally consider the police. But she is law enforcement.
and like Deborah Knott and Margaret Marion is a judge.
Yeah, there you go. So not again, and there's a Deborah Knott series down there. She's a judge, so she's aligned with the police, aligned with the legal system, but not necessarily a police person. Um, but so there are some examples there, some authors that have been around a while, like James Lee Burke, Michael Connelly, different ones. like that y'all can suggest to people. Excuse me. Yeah, Margaret Meron and Deborah Crombie are still on my list to get to. I think practically all of these are on my list of things to get to. So Nevada Bar is the only one I've read. So, all right, here we are. Now, private investigators get a whole subgenre on their own. Um, like I said, in some novels they may work with the police. For the most part, they're kind of on their own. They consider them like a lone wolf. They're there, they're working for their client. And of course, that's their main focus is to do whatever their client is asking them to do. So, of course, they operate in the gray area outside the law. There's different things, of course, they can do that the police can't. Um, so here's a list here, some examples of some PIs series. Like I said, as you can tell, mysteries have lots and lots of series. So sometimes that helps because you can have a patron come in if they like a certain series. Good thing about it is they've got quite a few books they can read before they run out and then are asking you for another suggestion. So hopefully in the meantime you're doing your research and finding them some more things that they might like. All right. I love that picture down there with that lady and that bat. Oh, sorry. All right, crime capers. Um, Usually with crime capers, they got some more, a little bit more humorous to them. Um, Usually are going on a little bit more of an adventure, and they have clever and witty characters. Um, and these are not necessarily murder. They're more thefts, being swindled, kidnappings, and something going wrong. Hence the humor part of it. So in a lot of these are standalone novels instead of series. Sometimes you won't find series in here, but it looks like everything I almost have listed is part of series. So this is good. This is kind of where this particular source put. I know the Stephanie Plum novels or series by Janet Ivanovich are very popular, and so they're kind of considered crime capers because they kind of combine all of that humor and people aren't necessarily getting murdered in those. At least they weren't up until when I stopped reading them. So they did every once in a while. But I think there's more things getting blown up and kidnapped, things like that. So there's your crime capers. So now a few of your genre blends. Again, like I said, different genres coming together. Of course, here Jim Butcher, and I'm not sure if he's from Cincinnati or not. um, but his Dresden Files, I think it's a combination of kind of like maybe sci-fi, fantasy, and mystery. And then, of course, these have been around for a while. And she's got other series as well. Charlene Harris and her Suki Stackhouse, of course, blends mystery and supernatural. And then Holmes on the Range. Okay, no, he's not from Cincinnati. I'm even thinking of somebody else from Northern Kentucky. But Holmes on the Range series, of course, is blending Western and mystery, kind of somewhat similar to the Walt Longmire series as well. And then the In Death series by J.D. Robb, also known as Nora Roberts, as you all know, um, that blends sci-fi and mystery together. So, pardon?
It's kind of like a police procedural.
Yeah,
She's a
police
cop.
procedural too. Yeah, she's a cop. She's on my list too, and I haven't read her yet. So those are some examples of some genre blends of mystery and another genre. So, all right. Mystery Readers Advisory. Some of the things that you want to talk about when your patrons come in and they're wanting another mystery to read. And you need to. So you're there to help them out. So, some things you might want to ask your patron when you're doing your Reader's Advisory reference and review is maybe ask them if there's a particular detective that they like to read about. And that would kind of give you kind of a sense of what kind of characters they're looking for. It can also let you know, well, if they like, say, Walt Longmire, um, you want to look for a character that's, and he's not really a detective, he's a sheriff. Um, kind of like, okay, we'll think about what his character is like. What other ones would they read? Or is it, do they like that mixture of, out west, Native American, culture as well, along with mystery. So, and if they're not necessarily big readers, they're still wanting something. You can also, or even if they are big readers, ask them what kind of mystery television shows or movies do they like. And that might give you another hint too, as far as okay, well, do they like a lot of the British mystery um, television shows? Maybe there's some British authors that they would prefer to read. Like I said, or um, the movies might give you some insight into what they might like then. Um, and then if they might be interested in a genre blend, of course, definitely ask them what other genres they read in order to you know figure out a genre blend that they might want to try out. That's another way to do it. Oh, okay. Kathy's chatted in or a couple different, well, some authors as well, and then a sci-fi mystery blend. So cool. I hadn't run across that, and she thought of another one she's gonna type in for you all as well. So the appeal factors that you want to think about when you're trying to find some suggested titles um, for your patron. And these appeal factors are the same across any kind of genre. So these apply to whether somebody's coming in and asking you for a mystery, a romance, historical fiction, anything like that. So, but you want to kind of ask them, well, what kind of character do you like? And Novelist has a really good list of these, so that's a good place to um, look and see. Um, but like you said, when you ask them what kind of character they like, you want to give them a little bit of help. Say, do you like a strong character? Do you like somebody that's sassy? Do you like a complex character that you can really dig in and the person gets to know that character really well the more they read about them. Different things like that. Illustration doesn't apply too much to of course, a lot of adult um, fiction books, but it is an appeal factor in there. Pace is a big one. And again, pace is something that changes, of course, according to the genre. Sometimes mysteries can be, of course, fairly fast paced. Sometimes, if they're cozy, they can be maybe a little bit um, of a slower pace. But yeah, you want to definitely ask your person. Oh, the big sheep. Okay. Kelly put another one in there. She's looking for some other. She's busily working over here, so I know that's good. So she'll type in some more of those as I'm talking. And then another thing you want to talk to your patron about is storyline. Um, do they like something that's action packed and want something a little bit, more character driven? Or do they prefer something that's more plot driven? The characters aren't necessarily extremely important, but they like a good plot. They like a good story. The story moves the novel along. So, and then tone for sure with mystery. This is extremely important. Uh, do they want something that's dark and brooding, or do they want something a little bit lighter, or a little bit um, maybe on the funny side. So again, those are some terms to ask them. I don't know if there's too many steamy mystery books out there. I guess there can be. So steamy is more probably one for romance, but
JD Robb.
yeah. Okay, JD Robb steamy. All right, good to know.
I don't know.
So, and then writing style is also another one to possibly mention. They want something that's descriptive. They want something that's dialogue heavy, um, or do they want something that's more spare, more sparse, really, direct and to the point. So, like I said, these are all ones that you can ask no matter what the genre is. But some of the adjectives that you use might are going to change a little bit according to, like I said, whether it's a mystery or romance or different things like that. There'll be different aspects of these appeal factors that you're going to ask them that go along with the type of genre that you're dealing with. So, all right. And we're just going to do a couple quiz things here before we wrap this up. We went through this one um, fairly quickly, but that's okay. We've got some quiz things for you. So, all right, we're going to see if you know any of your authors. So, the 5 mystery authors to know, according to um, one source, is Agatha Christie. She, of course, is considered the queen of crime. And then Robert Parker, Sue Grafton, Tony Hillerman, and Michael Connelly. Of course, again, like I said, this is one source said that these are the 5 mystery authors to know. So I thought we'd figure we'd have a little bit of fun with it. Um, and y'all can chat in your answers. So for number 1, Agatha Christie. And if y'all just want to type in A through E, which one there is Agatha Christie? Yep. We'll start out easy. Next one gets a little bit more difficult. So, alrighty. All right, number 2, Robert Parker. A through E. Which one's Robert B. Parker? Not bad. Alright, give everybody a chance to answer. There we go. Alright, next. Of course, this is probably going to be an easier one. Sue Grafton. Can anybody identify which one's Sue Grafton? Everybody's going to get an A plus on this one. Alright. I know all the gentlemen are a little bit trickier. All right, number 4, Tony Hillerman. Who knows their Tony Hillerman? Yeah, he's kind of this one almost with this one. Kind of the background maybe gives it away
It does.
a little bit if you know about Tony Hillerman. So, all right, last but not least, Michael Connelly. Connelly. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So, right, everybody. And somebody pointed out too that I think D and E are both wearing the same exact shirt.
Oh,
So I don't know if y'all could see that real well, depending on your monitor. But yeah, D and E are wearing the same shirt. So, all right. So, all right. The big reveal now here. Agatha Christie. That's C down there. Um, so, all right. This one was tricky. Robert Parker is E. Sue Grafton, of course, is B. Tony Hillerman is A. And then Michael Connelly is D. So there are your 5 mystery authors to know. So, and luckily enough, I think all of them have series. So, if you have somebody that you want start off in the mystery genre, you got 5 right here that you could suggest. Maybe they want to try and see. Um, Tony Hillerman, it's set out west. It's got some Native American culture in it as well. I think the first one, and I forget the series name, but I think the first one in it is called Sinister Pig. And then Sue Grafton, Louisville, Kentucky native, as you all know, but actually her mysteries are set in a fictional town in California. And Her main character is female, and she's a private investigator. And all of her novels, of course, they're the A is for, B is for series, and they are all, even though she wrote them in more modern times. The series started out in the 1980s, and she's kind of kept it in that time period. So there's no cell phones, none, not any kind of technology in her novels. So that, like I said, might be a consideration as well. And of course, Agatha Christie, she's got tons of stuff, some standalones. Um, and she's got her Miss Marple, and I cannot believe his name is escaping my brain right now.
Peru.
Yeah, Hercule Peru. Peru. Now Perot was, I think, an actual policeman, but I don't think Miss Marple was. So she's got, you've got your amateur sleuth, and you've got your police um, person. So, like I said, even her two series very different in possibly what your patron might want to read. Um, and then Michael Connelly, I'm not as familiar with his series, but is he the Harry Bosch?
I think the Harry Bosch.
Okay. And then last but not least, there with Robert Parker, and he has a series as well. And I know he's
Spencer.
mentioned, yeah, Spencer, and he's mentioned there as well. Yep. Oh, yep, Kathy. Yep, Sue Grafton's also a mystery writer as well. I don't think he was as well known as his daughter, but
We have some of his books
yeah,
here at the State Library.
there you go. So, all right. So, moving on. Now we're going to, and again, like I said, this is just someone else's that, you know, wrote the Mystery Readers Advisory book, said that these are the 5 mysteries everyone should read. So just thought I'd throw that list in here for you as well. And I'm not too familiar with a lot of what Raymond Chandler um, wrote. I don't know if that's a series, but I know all these others in here are based on a series. I'm not quite sure about Devil in a Blue Dress, but I think Walter Mosley also has a series with the same character in it as well. So just wanted to know in case you all want to know the 5 mysteries everyone should read. I've actually only read one of these, so I need to do some more reading. So, all right. And that is our quick mystery readers advisory tour for today. On this resources slide, just wanted to give y'all some resources that you all could go to look for some list of mystery books. Of course, if you're on Goodreads, Goodreads has a lot of genre lists on there as well, and they have a very good mystery list. And of course, if you have KYVL through KYVL, um, there's Novelist. Novelist has a lot of course, it's made for Reader's Advisory, so it's got a lot of, you can combine some of those appeal factors, um, and it will come up with a list of suggested titles that you can, discuss with a patron, or have some mystery titles, things like that. So you have some resources out out there that you can use if you're doing mystery, reader's advisory, or any kind of reader's advisory. Like I said, Goodreads and Novelist is going to cover any of the genres that somebody's going to come in and look for. And I know usually in general reader's advisory, you learning how to do it, different things like that, they'll suggest a lot of times to read in the different genres. So that's always a possibility if you want to do that, just so you have an idea of, what westerns are about, what Christian fiction's about, different things like that. Um, Also, what we have done here at KDLA is we usually know on staff who reads what different genres. So sometimes, you can do that as well. know who reads what at where the library where you work and ask them, hey, what would you suggest for this or that or different things like that. So a couple different ways that you can approach readers advisory. And like I said, just mainly just kind of, do your research. If you want to review, we have quite a few readers advisory webinars that we've done here at KDLA, the archived webinars that you can look at. There's, of course, tons of others probably out there that other organizations and other libraries have done. So, and the main thing with just reader advisory in general is just educate yourself a little bit on each of the genres and just help your patron out, the best that you can. They might not always get, the next greatest book ever, but just do the best you can to help them out. So, um, like I said, we're about done for today. Y'all been kind of quiet, which is that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if y'all do have any comments, questions that you all want to text in or chat in us, listen to me text, chat in us. Feel free um, to. And we're going to go to our ending slide. I got a couple more things to ask of you all. First thing is, we'd really like it if you would take a survey about today's webinar. As I always tell people, tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly. That way, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what we could change. So you just want to click there on that Mystery RA survey, and then click on Browse to. It's going to open up a separate browser window, and it's the Survey Monkey survey. So y'all can just take a couple minutes to do that. That would be really great. It's short and sweet and to the point. If you don't have time to do it now, you can always come back into this room um, and go to. I'm gonna leave up the ending slide, and it'll be up here for you all um, to do. And then, very last thing here, if you'd like to download a PDF of this entire presentation, you can do that in that second box there. Mystery RA PDFs, the title, just click on that. It'll highlight it in what I call UK blue. And then you just want to click download file, and you can download it directly to your computer. So, all right. All right. That is about all that I have for today and that Kathy has for today. Um, so we appreciate y'all taking an hour out of your time this morning to come learn about Mystery Readers Advisory. And as always, y'all can check our continuing education calendar of events for any of the other stuff we have coming up. We have stuff posted through the end of this year, and usually by the first of the month we have of course, our webinars are all on there. Usually by the first of the month we always have anything new coming up from other organizations. Um, their webinars that they have as well. So, like I said, if y'all want to, about the beginning of every month, check that CE calendar and see what you would like. So, yeah, actually, on the 30th at 2 p.m. from, and it's from Booklist, and the Kathy's going to put it in the thing. There is going to be a new Falling for Mysteries webinar. I was going to tell you, I'm assuming about some of the new mysteries coming up. And that's a big thing too for any kind of reader's advisory. Kind of know what the new things are that are coming out. So that's something you can also suggest to your patrons to look at. So yeah, Kathy just put it in the chat there. That's a link to register for it. So if you want to learn more about mysteries and the new mysteries coming out, you can take that book list webinar. So, all right. Well, that is it for us for today. Finally, my lovely coughing went away. So, thank you all for enduring that as well. So, whenever you all are done, just click that X in the upper right hand corner, and that'll take you out of Adobe Connect. Again, we appreciate y'all being here. Um, any comments, questions, whatever, we'll hang around. If not, y'all have a good rest of the day. And everybody try to stay as dry as you can tomorrow, because I think there's a 100% chance of rain. So thank you all. Have a good rest of the day. And we'll see you again in one of our other webinars. Bye, everybody.